Hopefully that worked.
Yeah.
I'm
Hopefully.
praying that worked. Does anybody have access to the live to see if it worked?
Hang on.
I want to see. Hopefully it worked, because if it didn't, I'm gonna be so upset. I worked so hard on that.
I'm sure it did.
Oh snap! Anybody there? It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Brandon Cole is watching. Yo, what
Brandon,
up, Brandon? Hey, Brandon, did you see the
did you
intro?
see the intro before we get started? Did you guys see the intro? My man Kev, did you see? Was the intro there? Let me know. Let me know right now.
Yep, Kevin said he could see it. What up, Kevin?
All right. Okay. All right. So we're good. We're live,
good.
Chris. What is up, everybody? And welcome back to Pin the Whole Effing Gas podcast. Today we have a special guest, but first, I am your host, Cool Jules, and I am here with Chris, the whole effing show, Simcoe, mega as always, and joining us today, all the way from North Carolina,
South
Carolina. Right. Dang it, Chris. I'm joking. My man with the official Pin the Gas nickname. And this is extra special because not only did we debut our first intro, but this is Chris's first nickname given to our guests. It's usually me. But ladies and gentlemen, Agent Action Jackson Blackmon. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the podcast. What do you think of Chris's nickname for you, my guy?
I like it. One of my first nicknames at the track was Action Jackson, but I like the Agent Action Jackson.
Agent Action Jackson, bro. What? Adds a little bit of a twang to it, you know what I mean?
It does.
It's so good to have you here, man. I was really excited. Chris is always excited to be here, but I was like extra excited. I was like, yo, got to talk to this guy, man. How you been, man? How you feeling?
Pretty good. Just been busy as we come up on the last couple rounds of the season, and so it's just with y'all, as y'all know, with racing, it's always something. So it's been a pretty busy season, but looking to finish out the year strong and try to just get through these last two rounds as a little smaller privateer effort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
for sure.
And the journey to the Twins Cup, like what was that journey like for you? Like where did you start? How did it all start for you?
Yeah, so well, I guess my question before I answer that one is like the start of my racing or the start of like Twins Cup?
Everything, man. I need you to go back to when you were a wee little child, and my man saw two wheels and was like, I want that one, and decided to take it next level.
Yeah, so well, pretty much so my dad, Chuck Blackmon, he used to race back in the day, back in the early 90s, and he raced the Harley 883 series, and I actually raced with some guys like the Boston Brothers and Michael Barnes, and I think Aaron Yates racing it a little bit back in the day, and Scott Zampak and a few guys. So he never won a race, but he did get a few seconds. So he had enough in the tank to kind of get me started when I was younger. And then the early stages, when I was about 7 years old, I think he got me like a Honda 50, but I was terrified of it. I was just scared, like kept falling over. And then finally, maybe within like 6 months to a year, just kind of started to get a lot of interest in it really fast and started going flat track races, and that wasn't too fun for me. So then we went and tried the asphalt, and just kind of went from there. Went from like the Honda 50 to NSR 50 to went to like the 100s, race at the Herring Compound and Carolina Motorsports Park, and kind of like our mini GP we had then. And then getting into Weira minis, and we were racing on Milwaukee 250 to getting involved with the KTM 390 Cup was kind of when I first started Motoamerica. Race for this team, Access Racing. This lady, MedAge, ran a team with me and Brandon Posh as teammates in 2016. And so that's more where things kind of started to take off into, professional stuff. And in 2017, getting my first couple wins and getting to go to the World Finals. And then kind of carrying that into Junior Cup. And then it was more when I started Twins Cup that I started running more of like my own race program. with my dad's help and with his machine shop, Finish Line Machine, and some other family friends, just kind of helping me live out the dream, and just kind of see where we can take it. And now having like Yamaha helping us out, um, and track day winners helped us this year, and just kind of a lot of support from guys like Brandon Cole actually is watching now. Been my
Hey.
this year. Everybody just coming together and helping support me and get me to the track.
Shout out Brandon, yo.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. What a story.
So it was like two wheels, love at first sight. And you did answer half this question here. This is actually from Joe Walsh. Yeah, I said his last name.
Yep,
Yeah,
Joe, dude. Listen, Joe, dude, sending all my love to you, man. Hope you get better ASAP.
Shout out Joe. And he also asked, aside from your story, what is your favorite track?
So that one, that kind of goes into a little bit of a story, but actually, so I've got the chance to ride two European tracks. One was Jerez and for the World Finals. Or Jerez, yeah.
Jerez.
And
I don't know why, but that bothers me.
Yeah, no, I heard it's something about like the town there, like one of the somebody in like government or something had like a lisp, or I don't know, maybe I might be completely wrong. That's what I heard, something like that.
Hey, we're gonna roll with it. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. You guys heard it first.
That's how I pronounce
the guy
it.
had a lisp.
Don't quote me on that one, but anyway, so I rode there for the World Finals in 2017, and then in 2018 I actually got to go. Actually, me and Corey Ventura were the first Americans to attend the VR46 Master Camp.
Nice.
Damn.
We got to ride Yamaha R3s at Misano. And so from that, I'd say definitely Misano was my favorite track that I've ridden.
Misano too. Yeah,
But you tore it up. You said this was back in 2017?
2018.
So did you get to hang out with Valentino at all?
Not exactly. Like we had like a dinner with him, but it wasn't really, that like one-on-one.
Right.
It was dinner on FaceTime, Chris.
Yeah, dinner on FaceTime, right.
But we did get to spend a lot of time with all the Academy riders.
Nice. So
that was like
Bagnaia, Morbidelli.
Yeah, and Bagnaia, that was when he was in Moto 2.
Yeah.
And he was actually, I'd say, one of the most genuine guys there. And so that was a really cool experience getting to learn from those guys and just get to hang out with them on more like a normal basis,
Right. More of a person instead of just, the road racer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why we love these podcasts doing what we do, because that's exactly how we treat all our guests, right?
We got to
a person, not just a badass road racer you are.
We get to stalk you guys, ask for your social security, mooch off of your merchandise. You know what I'm saying? And we do that by trading in a shirt.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
I feel like in motorsports, it's like it's the gift of giving, like everybody has something to give, whether it's like swag, stickers, or something, everybody has something to barter here. And I'm gonna ask you this: with your experience out there in the field like that, what was probably like the craziest thing you've ever traded anybody for on track? Did you get like a special shirt? Did you get a helmet in exchange for something else? Did you get signed gloves? Like, what was like the craziest thing you've ever received from somebody?
Man, that's a tough one. At the track, I don't know, usually it's just trading. Usually the ones that mean the most is maybe somebody offering a part that you need, after a crash or something, or lending a hand. Like I remember one year at VIR, I crashed out in Junior Cup, and I couldn't even name who it was, but a bunch of people ran over to try to help us get the bike together in time for the restart. And so maybe not exactly the question you're asking, but
yeah,
but I guess that's what I'd probably say.
Yeah, it's parts. I think probably one of the craziest things I've ever gotten. Well, it wasn't really a physical sort of gift, Chris and Jackson. Like it was more of an act of service, right? And it was when Josh Gerardo put me on his stock 1000 bike for the first time. He let me mount his bike, and I was like, this is probably the greatest thing anyone has ever done for me. Like it was insane. Like in hindsight, it is just a regular stock 1000 bike, but for somebody whose first time it was in Motoamerica, who's never been on a race bike before, to jump on a race bike and took a picture and posted it on the gram and got 87 likes on it and took all his credit. Greatest experience ever. Chris, what about you, man? What was like the craziest thing you've ever like received from like any racer or anything?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know where to begin because I've been fortunate enough where I got a lot of stuff.
Chris be jacking stuff from people, bro.
No, that's not it, man. Like, dude, I always get stuff signed, bro. Like, I've been fortunate enough. I got 7 Valentino signed helmets. I got a bunch of Nikki Hayden stuff, a signed Nikki Hayden helmet. I got Troy Bayless. I got, man, Sete Juvenile, Jorge Lorenzo, Casey Stoner. Man, I can sit here and go on and on and on, but that's not why we're here. We're here for Action Jackson, right? But yeah, listen, dude, all of it means something special to me. Every single one that I've gotten. And Robert, what is up?
It's the Xmas Blackson Action Jackson Blackmon. I don't know if you guys know where that's from. A freaking Key and Peele.
Yep.
Xmas Jackson Flaxen Waxen. He should be crying, son.
But
yo,
yeah,
Robert Lackey is a great supporter.
He is, but they all mean something to me special, right, in their own way. Like I met, which is just one example, real quick. When Loris Boss was here in Motoamerica, I went straight up to him. It was like, "What's up, boss, man? You know, I've been a fan, blah blah blah." I started, I talked to him like a normal, like we're talking right now, and he's like, "Just give me 1 second." Like it's just cut me off, right? Walks over to the toolbox, grabs out a big old flathead, takes both his knee pucks off, sign them, and just gives them to me, right? I didn't ask for nothing. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just having a decent conversation with him, not going too fanboyish on him, right? Just having a conversation, man. How you like here in America compared to your whole continent in Europe, right? Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah. I had a genuine conversation with him, which I think means a lot to the riders instead of getting drilled with all the I'm such a big fan and all that good stuff. And yeah, he just gave them to me, man. And I was like, dude, how cool. Yeah. So yeah, Loris is super cool. So that's just one of them.
And that's great that Jackson, you mentioned like probably the best experience that you've had with other people was them helping you out with parts. How often does that happen, man? At least for you.
Yeah. So, well, luckily now I try to come more prepared. so I got everything. I got enough where I could build a whole nother bike in the trailer. That's what I learned over the years. Like if you got it, bring it.
That's right.
But so maybe sometimes now I'll be the one helping out with a part or something. But usually the racetrack, I feel like it's like a big family, and somebody needs something. You never want to beat somebody because they couldn't grid up, or what I mean. So
that's right.
If I got something and I don't need it, it's always there for somebody else. And I feel like from my experience, it's been the same, nothing but the same energy from everyone else, even competitors racing for the same championship, and so that's what I really love about, racing. And I did do a little thinking, and I do have a couple things that I did get from the track. And I'd say one of them, well, I got the cast on my own because I broke my arm. But then I went to the GP at Coda, and I got Alex Rins to sign it.
Bro,
it was kind of a funny story that I went up to Marquez first when I caught him walking through the pits, and this was in 2017.
Yep.
And then he said he wouldn't sign it because it's bad luck. And so then I walked down and got Alex Rins to sign it. And then I almost feel bad, but actually that same weekend, Alex Rins crashed and broke his arm. I couldn't believe it. Like after Marquez had just said that it was bad luck.
Rins is my favorite rider too.
That's
man.
Crazy. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault, Jackson. Absolutely.
It's just a wild coincidence, kind of.
It is.
Do you have any superstitions within yourself when you get like ready for a race or whatever? Like I always got to wear pink underwear or some shit.
I've tried to stay away from feeling like I have to do everything like a certain way.
Right.
Always change.
Right.
But, I would say though that I like wearing my same suit, even if I have a crash in it. Like unless it's dangerous to wear, I feel like everything, like the same pair of gloves, same boots, like everything is kind of broken in to me. I don't like wearing anything like new before I go out.
Right.
It makes sense.
That makes sense. What's the for
Absolutely.
the people who don't know, like what's like the break-in process for like a brand spanking new suit? Like I know when I wear one, it takes me forever to break that thing in. What about for you?
Honestly, and this isn't just because I'm with them this year, but genuinely the Revit stuff that's my first year with this year. Honestly, as soon as I put it on, beginning of the year, it's fit like a glove. Like I haven't had to do anything. All the stretch panels working as they should, um, and it's just, and I just kind of like having the airbag too. I always felt safer in like these recent years of having airbags and suits and everything. Just gives a little more confidence. But I do know that I've had some suits in the past too that were pretty good. But I feel like it's kind of a little bit of preference. Like I've heard some guys saying that need to sweat in it really good before.
You're gross.
But
I'm joking. Dude.
That's
I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, I've never put on a Revit suit. I would Revit.
We can't hear you too good, Jules.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Now you can. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was like, I've never put on a Revit suit, but Revit, if you want to send me a suit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be proud to like model it. You know what I'm saying? I'll stretch that thing out. But nah, that's dope, man. I mean, how often do you get like new suits? Because I know you say you like keeping the old ones, but like when it gets really bad, how often in a season do you like switch out suits?
usually it's like this year I've been on the same suit all year. I have two suits, but I try to keep one new just in case, and then the airbag it has 2 charges per suit, so I could tear some stuff up like 4 times in a weekend, but I try to go for 0.
How long does it take to charge up one of those airbags?
Honestly, I think it's maybe like an overnight thing, like maybe a little more than a few hours. Usually I'll just plug it up like before I go to bed at the track, and then it's good pretty much all weekend. I usually, sometimes I think I've ran a charge 2 weekends before, even just because like it's not quite as much as like a track day, like riding Motoamerica. You have 2 sessions a day, so the charge lasts me pretty long time.
Dude, that's so sick.
Yeah,
freaking Rob Lackey with the freaking shameless plug on the bison suit. I mean, Rob, if you want to send me a sample, bro, we can talk, man.
Robert's awesome. Listen, Robert Lackey and his Tasha and all them in Bison. They're amazing people. They've been nothing but good to us since we met them. So
making quite the name for themselves too.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah. What they do for our sport, just being there on side track, right? Helping you in a pinch, or if you destroy some, they can help you get you going or whatever. But listen, Jackson, man, let me ask you this: what has been your most perfect lap you've ever run on any track? Right, like where everything was perfect, all your like markers, body position, the whole 9, turn-in points, exit.
Beat that, motherfuckers.
Man, I don't know if I've had a perfect lap.
What about on the PlayStation?
But I'll say this: I feel like my best lap I've had was probably like the most strategic lap I think I've had was 2017 in KTM Cup. Like one of my, or you know what? No, I'm gonna change it. So it was probably in 2021. I got my first Twins Cup win at the Ridge, and my first double win the same weekend, and I felt like I was really close to just like some really really good laps. Like I think my best lap to my worst lap in race 2 was like half a second difference.
Wow.
And so I've just been trying to replicate that each weekend. It's just try to get it. The goal is always to get out front, and just run consistent laps. And even if they've gone a bit faster now, with everything constantly developing and track getting better and this and that. But I felt like that weekend, at least, I just felt like I could get in a really good rhythm and just run a lot of good laps.
Amen, man. Amen.
Yeah,
And
man.
we're gonna get more into the specific bike that you ride in a second. But Cameron Myers says, "What has been your favorite bike you've ever ridden?"
Mm. That one is tough.
And why is it the Aprilia RSV4RR?
The big shit out to Cam Myers, man.
Yo,
Absolutely.
Cam Myers.
Kid Chaos is in the house.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good buddies with Cam.
Yeah.
Or I grew up riding. Not to get too off topic, but
No,
I
you're
grew up
good.
riding with Ashton, because like our dads knew each other, and so I'm good buddies with Ashton and Cam, and we were trying to get some time together, do some riding. But honestly, my favorite bike I've ridden probably has actually been the Milwaukee 250 that I had. Like being more of like a GP bike, like GP chassis. That thing was just a blast to ride, and it was just so easy to ride. But of course, outside of that, I got to ride a 1000 one time, and it was Alex DeMoss' practice bike at Road Atlanta, Gixxer 1000.
Oof.
And that thing was a lot of fun, even though it was only like half a session. I felt like I could just get to any turn like as fast as I wanted.
Right, a lot different than the twins for sure. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, different power output and
everything.
all that extra garbage, and a whole bunch of like electronics and whatnot. You know what's crazy is that every time I ask a racer, and specifically a racer, what's the most fun bike they've ever ridden, it's never anything above like 600 cc's. You notice that, yo? Like everyone's like, oh, it's this little bike, it's this 250, it's this 300, da da da. Like they never say it's the most powerful bike. But then when you ask these people on the street, because it's a totally different type of riding, right? Everyone's like, oh man, the Panigale and the 959, freaking Jackson 1000, like it's so different. And I tell people all the time that the fundamentals of racing and riding belies on the smaller displacement bikes, right? What was kind of your experience like on that sort of like GP chassis? Because I've never ridden one. I'm going to I think it's Anderson in Florida, in Orlando, for the SFL Mini. And I'm gonna be riding one of them bitches. So like I need to know, what is your guidebook to a newbie like me who's learning how to ride on a track and on a mini bike for the first time?
And just know, Jackson, before you answer this, I'm gonna be there too, because I'm gonna whoop his ass on my track.
Bro, yo, you
don't even know, Jackson. You don't even know, baby.
Doing shit.
Oh man, probably. It all depends on what bike, but I know that when I was coming up riding, my kind of mentor over all the years has been Dale Quarterly.
Nice.
It was first privateer to win a superbike race.
Yes.
And some people remember him as the teenage mutant, or the Ninja Turtles, whatever. He was like sponsored by them and had like the helmet with the little
eyes on it. Yeah, I know exactly who he is. Yeah,
that's wild. I've never seen that.
But he always told me to ride fat, lazy, and stupid, and to just keep things simple and be nice and neutral on the bike, and engage your core and use your arms with your legs, and always like eyes up. And so I always just try to not overcomplicate it. Like I usually try not to, even though like we carry aggressive lean angles and stuff at the track, it's usually never like a goal of mine to like reach for my elbow or any of that. It's more just kind of to just be centered and be in control.
Right. So what was it like, the feeling the first time dragging your elbow? Because I've done it, but when I do it, I drag my shoulder and my hip and my legs, and everything else comes right after that, right? So what was the feeling like the first time, right? That you actually done it? Because me, I know if I did it, I'd be like, that's it. I'm done. I did it. Yes. What a feeling, right?
I've reached the pinnacle of motorcycle racing.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was on that Milwaukee. Like that thing was it just handled so well. Like I could just crawl over it, and that's when I only probably weighed 100 pounds. So I think I remember the first time, I think, was at Little Talladega. And there's this one turn that's like a little bit a little bit off camber, and so the inside, you kind of can cheat it a little bit. And so I remember just grabbing on to the brake guard on the left side, like the clutch guard,
Yep.
so I could like reach my elbow just to get it down, so I could come show my dad that I got it. And then after that, I never really did it much more. Like I always feel like I can reach down extra, to try to like get it, but
It doesn't feel
usually
organic.
now I feel like it's not as common for me, at least.
Yeah.
Because
Everybody's style's different too, right?
and
some people sit more in the bike, some people lean more off the bike. Yeah.
and I feel like if you really try to do it, then it'll just screw up the flow and the chemistry of everything else. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's cool. It looks cool. I mean, I think, in my opinion, man, and this might be a hot take, for everybody who does the whole like shoulder out and everything, I feel like it's more of a style factor than it is a rider preference and fundamental. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's just to look cool. That's why people buy 1,000cc bikes on the street. They don't care about how much electronics and like whatever, all this stuff. They just want to look cool. I'm one of those people. I'll admit it. I just want to look cool.
That's awesome.
Let me ask you this, Jackson. So back to Kid Chaos's question, piggybacking off of that. What explain to the people who don't know what you ride on the Twins Cup.
Yeah, so it's a Yamaha R7, but I like to call it a mini super bike because Twins, pretty much the only thing that's R7 left on it is pretty much the base frame, the swing arm, and the cases, pretty much. Everything else, like, we change out, we make some changes to the harness. We put on, I have like a data logging dash, like the Ames MXS dash with potentiometers front and rear with R1 forks, with like a Triumph 675 K-Tech shock, with a different rear linkage. In my dad's machine shop, we made custom adjustable offset triple clamps. We got the Gale Speed Master, front master, and lightweight Oz racing wheels, the big rotors, like the big racing Brembo front rotors. We got the underslung rear caliper. I mean, we pretty much, and then along with
the whole bike
and rear sets and race body work and titanium bolts all over it.
Clip-ons, rear set,
it's its own beast.
It's a super bike. It's a mini super bike. You're right.
Wait, well, you don't have to disclose specific numbers, but what is a horsepower like on the majority of these machines? So
yeah,
like
pretty much everybody, I'd say everybody in the top 8 or so, like most of the front run guys, I could almost guarantee everybody's making over 100.
And tell everybody what they make stock.
So stock Yamaha's at like, I want to say it's like 70.
I mean, think about that, people. That's a big increase in horsepower on a 100.
Wasn't the RS660?
That is huge.
Wasn't the RS660 like at 100 base?
I
think it might be close
to 100.
Yeah, I think it's like
80 something,
high 80s to 90 or so.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Aprilia doesn't have as much engine work as like on the Yamaha. Like in the motor, we're doing transmission, rods, pistons, head work. You can do like a 0.5 mil overbore, cams, adjust the timing. You can deck the head. You can. I mean,
it's a super bike. Yeah, it's a true. Listen, it's like the old school Formula Extreme. Those that are watching that watched AMA when they had Formula Extreme. It's basically kind of one of those. 600, pretty much with. Yeah, you could do whatever.
You turn that thing into class. Shoot rocket. Bob Dunn is asking how is your ankle?
Oh yeah, so as most people may not know, last year at Motoamerica, I had a pretty nasty high side in practice, and and broke my talus and my ankle. That required a plate and 7 screws, and put me out for the season. And well, pretty much about, I'd say, at least 8 months of recovery. And so it's something that I still kind of deal with now. It's not something I notice as much. I definitely know when it's about to storm.
I know that's right. Yeah, I know that's right.
But I was able to get a lot of range of motion back. I did lose, a few degrees here and there, but nothing that really affects me too much on the bike, thankfully, because I wasn't sure how that was going to heal over time. And I just kind of hope I have no problems with any of the hardware moving around or anything either. But so far, so good.
I see you got a spin bike back there in the background. You ride a lot?
Yeah, I try to. It's been so hot and everything. I've been keeping it inside on the trainer.
Come on, Chris. He's trying to get his fitness on.
No, I mean, I know, but that's how a lot of them guys do, besides, Supermoto, of course, which he already said he loves, right? He loves Supermoto.
And here in Rock Hill, the roads aren't great to ride on, but we actually have a pretty big cycling group. And so on like Mondays and Thursdays, they have big group rides.
Yes, my mama. Say hi, Mom.
Mama said go. How you doing?
Okay, I got all your stuff in the fridge.
All right, thanks, Mom.
I love you.
I
Call
love
me
you too.
later.
All right, I will. All right.
Yo, how about that? Yo, got some love from Mama Simcoe, yo. Rock Hill. It sounds like a place that has dangerous roads, dude. I live in Rockland County, and the roads here are horrible. Rockland's in New York. Anything with rock sounds like they have a terrible.
I'm in Roanoke, and we start with the R2. Our roads are good, man. One thing I love about where I live, man, the mountains, Jackson and Jules, man, you can go, ride on the street, man. There's so many mountains, the parkway. It's all beautiful, right? A lot of curves, and it's a lot of fun to get away and do that around here versus somewhere like Florida, right, where it's flat everywhere and it's just everything's like this, right?
It's humid and there's too many alligators.
Yeah, too many alligators. Hey, I like eating alligators. You like alligator, Jackson?
I've never tried alligator, bro.
Yeah, alligator's good, man. You gotta try it. Yes,
I ain't
good,
never tried
man.
that shit, bro.
Well,
That
you
shit
need
sounds
to. Dude, listen, I'm sure you're in New York. There's somebody down there at the market. You can go get you some alligator, sewer alligator.
I'm gonna ask.
For
I'm
sure.
gonna ask Michael Correa if you serve an alligator for lunch at Anderson at SFL Mini. I'll be like, yo, let me get the alligator ass, bro. I'll take that.
It's good, man. For real, it's good.
So was that ankle injury like your gnarliest injury you've ever got?
I'd probably say so.
Yeah.
It's definitely been like the longest recovery, and definitely like the like something that I'm gonna deal with like forever. Like I broke both wrists twice, and then I broke my hand twice, and then I broke my foot once. Jeez. And then I dislocated my right shoulder twice, and then separated my left shoulder. I think of everything. Well, and then one time I got a laceration on my liver.
I think that's probably the most gnarliest injury you've mentioned so far.
Yeah,
that sounds wild.
Yeah.
But it was pretty minor. But yeah, with the ankle, I'd say it definitely hurt the worst.
Damn, I could imagine. Yeah, for sure, I could imagine.
And that's like 90% of your weight too. Like
I mean, you use a lot of your ankles because you're on your toes a lot, right? When you ride as fast as Jackson is and winning out there winning all them races, yeah, you got to, right? Jackson, tell us exactly. Yeah. So how often do you wear a hole in your boots, your riding boots? How many boots do you go through? Let me ask you that.
I just have 2 pairs this year. Of boots. I got I'm running a CD this year. I actually went to them being that they have the adjustability throughout the boot, so that because my left ankle stayed pretty swollen, like it's just now getting closer to my right ankle, and so it stayed pretty swollen for a long time, and so I couldn't wear the same size boot necessarily, so I needed like a little more room in that left one. So I like that CD. I can kind of open it up more.
Right. I have CD boots as well. I definitely, well, probably not to the degree of yours, but I can definitely feel where the brand loyalty comes from. I actually really like those boots. Kid Chaos says, "What are your plans for next year, Jackson?"
Um, man, I'm really hoping to get out of twins. I love the
Ooh.
class, and it's been great learning how to kind of run my own program, and I'm at the point where I pretty much I build the bikes myself, and do everything. Like I don't do any of the specifics. Like I'm not an engine builder, but
Yeah.
I can put my bike together, from the frame up,
Right.
and but I'm looking for trying to find an opportunity to be a little bit more of just a rider again, and giving it a shot in super sport or like
It
like
says
Cam
stock
said,
1000.
stock 1000. I'd be open to really whatever.
Yes.
Jump in that
Whatever
R1, bro.
opportunity is there.
Well, what bike would you be interested in getting in the 600 class?
Yeah, I was
the
just-
Gixxer, the Gixxer 750, the R6. Now that you can do the head work,
The Panigale
Right.
V2.
yeah, the Panigale.
Man, I don't know. I've been the big Yamaha guy for a long time, and so it'd be great to stick with them. But I'm also at a point where I'd take really whatever opportunity is there. I just really want that chance to try to kind of prove what I got as more of a rider. So I feel like I can, I give it my all now with running my own program, but there's times it's definitely pretty difficult to manage everything. And then, half the time I'll be coming in and actually working on the bike myself sometimes. Of course, majority of the stuff is Brandon, and I have Giacomo Manera that helps me out too. But a lot of times on suspension and stuff, and like I'll be looking at my own data and deciding what changes to make and such. And so I'd just be interested to see how I could do it in an environment where somebody else is kind of helping with that stuff.
So you can take your mind solely just focus on riding, right? The
Yeah.
task at hand, yeah, which makes it. But dude, listen, I didn't realize you was doing that much. Basically, you're like the Michael Dunlop of Moto America right now, because Michael Dunlop, that's what he does over there at the TT. He runs his own program, does his own bikes,
Does his
builds
own
his
shit.
own bikes. Yeah, reads his own shit. You don't let nobody else do it, right? But a select few of people. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. You're the Dunlop of Moto America for sure.
Freaking
Absolutely.
Dunlop.
Yeah.
Does he does all that, but take my warranty for my car's tires, but totally cool.
It's not the same Dunlop, man. It's not the same.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I know. It's awesome. So, Jackson, do you play video games?
Oh yeah, actually, I don't know if y'all can know this, but I'm actually sitting in I got a car sim set up.
Nice.
And so I'm actually sitting in that right now, and like the
Nice.
car seat.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder
That's
why he's
awesome.
like this right now. What do you do? Formula One, Forza?
Yeah, I do. I got I do some iRacing stuff.
Oh, right.
And then of course I play like some GP and Superbike and stuff, and
Ride 4.
Supercross, and I got Ride 4 too.
How much you spent on your rig?
Well, I invested in on it when I was hurt.
Right.
Whenever I hurt my ankle, I was dying for racing, but I couldn't even walk. So I kind of got the little setup, like the base setup, but I got a decent one. Like it's not just a like Logitech wheel. I got like the Fanatec stuff. But I've been using it pretty good. Like me and my buddy Ian Champness, not too long ago, we did a 12-hour endurance and LMP2 cars, and man, I felt like real race by the end. I was just mentally drained.
I bet.
I can't even sit on Ride 4 for 4 laps, man. I don't know how you do 12-hour endurance.
Yeah, man,
Which, by the way, I totally smoked the Skid Master Isaac Woodworth at Laguna Seca. So I'm just gonna
listen.
hold that.
I haven't done it yet. I just got an Xbox just to play with these guys, Jackson. But we all play Ride. Well, they do. I will with them play Ride 4 together. Avery, Jill,
I got Superbike, bro.
All of them. Do what now?
I got WSBK.
Well, I do too, but it's not cross-platform.
Well, you have it on the P5?
Yeah, I got it on PS5. I need to get it on the Xbox. I like my PS5, man. What can I say?
Yo, I know.
The only reason I got the Xbox to play with you guys, which
Very
it's
jealous.
worth it. So what I'm doing it in secret, Jackson, is I'm actually playing, so I get really good. So when I do go on there, I can whoop all their asses and just be like, "Bam, baby, mic drop, boom, I'm out." Yeah.
I don't know
That's
who
the goal.
Jalewis is. My man said Jalewis. Yo, well, to be fair, Isaac whooped my ass on every single track, but Laguna Seca is just, you know what I mean? Like I was killing it. Who is this from? Good to see you back on this out. This is from from Bob Dunn.
Yeah, Bob Dunn.
All right, that's good, man. Hey, I mean, how's the recovery looking so far, bro? Like, what's the mobility like right now?
That's pretty good, honestly. It doesn't really affect me too much. From day to day, I've noticed that like the biggest thing would be probably that I can't really run anymore. I can run for like survival, but like I couldn't run like long distance. Like I used to like running for training, just because it's so like you can get a lot out of the time you put in. Like 30 minutes of running, I feel like is like an hour on the bicycle.
Right.
And so, but now it's just my ankle would get pretty sore after like that much impact on it. So I just stick to the bicycle, and but yeah, it's been pretty good. But yeah, definitely now it's more of I only run if I have to.
If I had to run from a bear, goddamn it, I'm out. You don't even know. Yeah,
It's just
other than
hobbling.
that, not doing it. Yeah, that's.
Oh man, it's worse. If it was Cocaine Bear,
Yeah, right. I'm gone. Yeah. So listen, Jackson. Away from motorcycle racing, bro. What do you do for fun? Do you?
Yeah, man, you like an
You
underground
like go to
fighter?
concert underground? Yeah, right. Fight
You run on
club.
OnlyFans? Like, what do you do, bro?
Oh, how'd you know?
Yeah. We have it pulled up.
And right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is me as me working on my bike.
Right.
No, but lately I've been getting into golf
Nice.
or trying. I'm not great, but
Me neither.
but all I gotta do is hit at least one or two decent shots, and I'll come back and play again.
It feels
So
good when
I've
you
been,
get one, right? Especially when you drive something far, you're looking, you're like, I just did that. You know how good that felt?
Yeah.
And then you hit it again. It's like ping, ping. You're like, man, I suck. Let me get in the golf cart.
Fulfilling. Like golf is really fulfilling for some odd reason.
It's
like,
fun. It really
you play
is.
it, it's so slow, but like when you get that good drive, you're like, I want to do it again. I don't know, like you know, there's something about it, man. Like I really want to get into it. You know, I want to get some like carbon fiber clubs. You know what I mean? Like I want to put some money into it. But what else? What else from golf, man? Like what else do you do?
Outside of that, so like I've worked at my dad's machine shop for past few years, so the CNC machine stuff interests me a lot. Enjoy half the battle of riding is working on those things. So I've gotten pretty good with changing motors and of course the basics on it, you know. So really, you know, most of my life is revolved around racing. But outside of that, I like playing some games here and there. And I like playing some golf and in the wintertime, I like going snow skiing.
Nice,
that's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's all snowboarding. Yeah, I remember that's one of the only times I knocked myself out was snowboarding. Yeah, it was a good nap too. You don't realize that's the best nap you ever had. It's quick when you wake up. You're like, "What happened?" Right? They're like, "Dude, you've been out for like 10 minutes. I just seen you face plant. It was awesome." Back then, I wish they had cell phones, right? Because it probably been pretty cool. Because I come in. I lived in Colorado at the time, so I was coming down and I tried to stop real quick. When I did, it just caught and I just went bam, and I just night went to sleep. Woke up, wiped the drool off. Was like, that was a great nap. My face hurts. So yeah. So what's your favorite movie?
Cocaine Bear, bro.
Man, I don't know. I guess probably have to be the Barbie movie. I'm just
nice.
yo, hold on. Just
but
I did.
That
Movie was fire.
I did just watch it the other day.
That movie was hilarious.
But honestly, I love Star Wars. That's where I kind of geek out is on Star Wars.
Yes.
Did
So
you
Me
actually
too,
see the
man.
Barbie movie?
Me too.
yeah, I did.
Hey man, we're
Yeah.
talking about Star Wars, man.
Bro,
Okay,
no,
no,
hold up,
we're talking
bro.
about Star Wars, man. What you
Ryan
talking
Gosling, man. But Ryan Gosling hit you with the vocals, man. Like mid movie. Yeah, said I don't know if I've never been good enough. I'm a little bit rusty. Like he sounded so good. All right, whatever. Star Wars. Go ahead, continue.
about? That's awesome.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, Jackson.
Yeah, but the Star Wars. I've watched every one. I can't think of how many times. They used to be when I was like a kid, and I'd have a sick day out of school or something. I just watch Star Wars movies, like just over and over.
Me and my boy, we watch them. We watch all of them. We watch every single one of them. And they're awesome, man. These Jules Barbie movie Lilac have a lot of concerns. Rick Glover, my man, dude. Yes.
Yo,
That is
you guys will understand the lilac joke pretty soon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's
So big shout out to Rick Glover, Jackson. That's who actually designed our Pin the Gas logo.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a little inside joke. Lilac and Barbie movie Northeast. Yes, Rick, I'm concerned too. We should have a video chat later for sure. A one-on-one with Jules.
Facts. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, Rick did a great job on our logo, man. Like it looks so fire. I've been bothering him the last few days of like switching up the colors. I was like, oh man, I'm not trying to match freaking Julian Correa's like freaking blue and pink. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that because I feel like everybody's doing the blue and pink. Freaking Forrest Dunn and Isle of Man TT was doing it. Freaking what's his name? Joey Thompson was doing it, and I'm like, so what? Everyone's Miami Vice now? Like, nah, screw that. But here we go. Who's this from? Favorite Star Wars movie, man? Oh,
That's a good question, ain't it, Jackson? Yeah, I'm trying to think too. I'm like, I don't know.
I'd say definitely Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you on that.
Oh man, I'd have to agree. I'm not really into my Star Wars like that, but I'm gonna trust your opinion. I saw like the latest ones, like episodes, was it 7 with Kylo Ren, and I saw Rogue One, and I saw freaking Solo, and I was like, I don't know why I saw those movies. It's $5 on Tuesdays, and I was kind of bored, so I was like, yo, I'll throw down some $5 and change, man. Like I'll do that. Oh, Rogue One for the win. Says, is this Rick Glover? Is this Rick as well? Yeah, it is Rick.
Yeah, it is.
But I will say that the Return of the Jedi, I feel like it's the best because it's got the Ewoks in it.
Yeah, I like the Ewoks too. Yeah, they're out there in the forest. Yeah, it's a good one, man. It really is. So, listen, if you could ride on any MotoGP team and have your MotoGP teammate, who would it be?
And why is it Aprilia?
Listen, it don't have to be Pecco Bagnaia on the Ducati. It could be Pecco on the Aprilia or on whatever.
Well, I'd say it wouldn't be the Honda right now.
Facts, right?
So honestly, I feel like watching like all of racing the past few years. I feel like it's hard to bet against KTM only improving.
Yep.
Like they've made like massive leaps in Supercross, Motocross, MotoGP. It's like usually they go to win, and so I feel like if we're looking at into the future, like I feel like KTM with probably Bezzecchi, because I feel like he's still young and he's still just gonna get more and more experience, and he was pretty cool to hang out with at the master camp. And so I feel like that'd probably be it.
Oh yeah, dude. But Bezzecchi's freaking dirty, bro.
Bezzecchi is, yeah. World Superbike. Who's your guy on World Superbike?
And why is it Top Rack Razgalioğlu?
I don't watch as much World Superbike, but I'd say definitely Gerloff. Just because
I'll give you that.
I actually stayed with Gerloff for a few months in 2018. And got to be fairly close with them.
Nice.
So you
kind of had like a similar coach at that time, and And it's just cool to see his like hard work and dedication, and to see him actually make it over there.
Yes.
And it kind of showed me, you know, like what it took for him.
And you can do
And
it.
I mean, that guy, even when I was with him one-on-one, like there'd be no cameras around, nobody else, you know, like I'd expect them to eat a cheat meal here or there, you know, and just be like a normal guy. But no, he'd sucker me into ordering a cookie or something when we go out somewhere, and then roast me about it.
Yeah, right.
You know, he's gonna be better because he's not like that. Like he's, you know, he's clean cut and focused on what he wants.
I
Dude's
actually met
absolutely
him.
jacked.
He is, dude. I met him at Coda, and I shit my pants. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Garrett Gerloff!" And I just bought an instant 360 camera, so I went up there and had the camera out and was talking to him, and it was awesome because he was fully involved in our conversation. Right? It wasn't like he was just looking all the way around, and not paying attention. He was actually there in the moment, man. And it made me, of course, I'm his fan, but it made me even more of a fan because of that. Right? He didn't have to put that much personal time into it, which he did, which is awesome.
Dude, I hung up on my girlfriend to have a conversation with this guy.
It's already 2:00.
Oh, that's awesome. I hung up on my. Hey, I'd have done the same thing too. Hey, hang on, I gotta call you right back. Click. Right.
Real quick, guys. I got like an emergency I gotta take care of. Chris, I'm gonna have you handle the rest. Jackson was awesome talking to you, man. I gotta be out, but I'll hit you guys up after the show. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Joe. I'll catch you guys later. PTG.
All right, bud.
Yes. See you guys
later. Yeah. So anyway, man. Yeah, dude. Hey, going back to Star Wars. Yeah, you're right on that. I agree. It's the same. Yeah, absolutely, man. So yeah, man. Dude, your future plans. You want to be in 600 Super. So what's your ultimate goal, Jackson? Like where do you want to be outside of Motoamerica, Motoamerica Superbike champ?
Really, just kind of whatever opportunity I can get. I know that, you know, I think that Motoamerica is doing a great job with the series right now, and it's a little unfortunate that racing isn't quite what it was, you know, 15 years ago.
Right.
But I think that it's on its way up still. You know, from that kind of tough spot when Motoamerica was taken over, and so I'd really just love to get on a superbike and you know, see where I could lead, or maybe even one day run my own superbike team with kind of what I've been learning to kind of managing and running everything myself.
That's a lot to take on, man. Kyle Wyman did that too, right? I mean, he did till he's just Harley, but when he was in, you know, the Ducati Superbike, he did everything, drove it, managed it, got all the parts. You know, of course he had people working for him too, but I couldn't imagine the task, man. It's a lot to it, Jackson. That's what I'm talking about when you're the Michael Dunlop of Motoamerica, man. You're working on the bike, you're machining parts for the bike, you're putting the bike together, you come in the pits. I'm sure you got somebody there front to rear stand, right, with tire warmers and a hot and cold pit. You're taking this and that. It's a lot of people don't realize how much work goes into it, and you don't have a whole lot of time, right? You hear the call, you're pretty walking out there setting up, and you know all that good stuff. Here we go. Oh, maybe not. He was there for a second. Now he's gone. But yeah, somebody helps you out. Comes Yamaha. If you're listening, we need to get this Jackson on a super bike, man, on an R1, right? Let's get him out there. Not the super stock. Let's put him on the super bike and see what he can do, because I believe that you'll go out there and pull some W's for sure. Transitioning from your motorcycle riding to playing golf, does that have any transition to it at all that you've noticed?
You know, I will say that I feel like it's all in your head, really. Like, of course, there's stuff physically that can hold you back, but you're definitely not going to go forward if you don't think you can. Right. You know, you may not do it every time, or you may not, you know, you're not going to win every race, but you definitely won't if you believe you don't, you know, that you won't. So, and sometimes it's hard, even after a bad race, to think of things like that. or after you hit 3 bad shots in a row on the golf course. But if you truly believe and visualize yourself doing well, you definitely have a way better chance of doing well. And so
Yeah,
it's been for me just trying to keep in that mindset and not let the little things affect me.
that's right. That's right. Always stay positive and put that positive energy out there. That's right. That's right. Dominique Doyle is watching. What is up, Dominique? Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, so listen, Jules was supposed to say it earlier when we first started that everybody that watches and comments is entered into a drawing. You win 2 in the gas stickers as always, but today with Jackson, I have a Ricardo Rossi signed poster Moto 3 rider that I'm actually going to give away along with the stickers today too. So I just want to throw out there real quick before I actually forgot. Because we didn't say it earlier, but yeah. Bro, man, hey, it's always a pleasure to watch you race. You've been doing really good, and man, listen. As far as riding goes, what do you think your best feature riding a motorcycle is? Like, are you a super good late breaker? Getting out of the corners the best? I mean, what's your most favorite thing you do on the motorcycle? Your best attribute? And on the flip side of that, where do you see yourself making the most progress on your weakest aspect, right? Whether it's trail braking or whatever.
So I'd say that I take some pride in that. I'm a pretty neutral rider. There may be times I could commit a little bit more. I'm very neutral, but if I'd say one of my strengths isn't necessarily the lap time, but I've been pretty consistent this year. There's been a few little things out of my control that's happened, and I've had one did not start. That was because of us kind of messing with the bike last minute that, luckily we learned from. But I haven't had any DNFs this year. I've actually only had 1 crash this whole year. So I take a little pride in that. I feel like I'm usually, within my limits. But on the same hand, though, I need to kind of push the limit still too, though. Because there's definitely still been some weekends I was a little bit off pace. So just kind of always trying to find that balance of being smooth and controlled, but also pushing the limit because, that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
But sometimes I guess it's a little bit harder to push that last 5 or 10%, especially knowing that, me owning all my equipment and knowing I'm the one, going to be helping put it back together. It makes me maybe just a smidge more timid, which would be like why I, really want a chance at racing for a team where I don't have that same kind of responsibility. But I'd say that's probably my 2 things.
Yeah, that would man, that'd be a big help too. We touched on it a little bit earlier. If you could just take all that pressure off of you and Jackson can just focus on Jackson and where I need to make up time here and there instead of what you just said, right? Oh my God, I just spent a ton of hours and money on this. And if I wreck it, it's yeah, man. Yeah. So Jackson, along with that, what is your mental preparation like before every race weekend that comes up? How do you mentally prepare, and then how do you unwind?
Yeah, so I'd say mentally, my mental preparation usually is just thinking about everything that I've put into this. It's a lot to run my own program, and a lot of people put in a lot of effort to help out. And so, like, the last thing I'd ever want to do is get out there and feel like I didn't give it 100%. So that really keeps me going, is just knowing how many people support me and how much work and blood, sweat, and tears go into this bike and all the R&D and kind of because, like I was mentioning earlier, we have a different package than a lot of other people. So it's just really cool to see it come together and compete with these other teams and other riders and on a completely different package. So that kind of helps fuel me. And the last thing I want to do is think about the whole drive home about how I should have tried that pass, or I should have done this or done that. So
Yeah.
it's like you just gotta put it on the line and be ready to give it 100%.
That's right. So, everybody watching and that's going to be listening to this, dude. If somebody approached you, Jackson, and wanted to build their same exact R7 that you have, what would that cost?
I mean, honestly, I'd say that my bike, I'd say my bike is worth, just a base number off the top of my head, is probably worth around 25 grand. I mean, like I was saying earlier, pretty much everything is done to it or everything that you're allowed to do legally in Motoamerica Twins Cup is done. So, I mean, it's decked out. It's my baby. Pretty much everything I got is in that bike and my B bike. And then of course like a spare motor, and
Right.
I got extra wheels and body work and spares, of everything. But I mean, even the radiator, we put a R6 radiator, like the big radiator, on it to keep it cooler. The only thing that's R7 is the base frame and the cases and swing arm, really. That's about it.
So you'll never get rid of this bike, right? You'll always be with you, right? You'll never sell it.
No, I think it'll be gone.
Yeah.
Well, to help fund
Fun. Right.
whatever I can put together next year.
Yeah.
And so
Is to sell it at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think that being right now that it's still a new bike and it's still in contingency and it's up to date with like the rules, of today, I think it make the most sense and be the most useful to another rider if I sold it more recent. So being that I don't want to race Twins again next year, I'd probably sell it and put that money towards either starting a program in Super Sport or Stock 1000 or something.
Right.
Or, even if I could put something together with a team, then I could use the money for training or, I've been wanting to get a better mountain bike to do some mountain biking and stuff. So I got some other ways I could invest it.
That's right. Yeah. So, man, Super Sport, I think you're killing. But so basically, what you're telling me and what it means is that Jackson has to win the Twins Cup championship this year, right? So when you sell the bike, it'll be the championship winning Twins Cup bike. Yeah, for sure. That's the goal. Let's do it. I'm with it. Yeah. Me and Jules will actually be there in Jersey at the end of the year. Which is going to be awesome, man, because we're going to come in the pits and give you a hard time. Be like, come on, Jackson, yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. Man, so training, we basically covered that, TVs, all that good stuff. What's your favorite meal you like to eat? Spaghetti? Thai? I love Thai food personally. That's my favorite food of all time is Thai food and Greek food.
Honestly, I think that it would be it'd be pho. If you've had pho before.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. We have a place right down the street here in Roanoke that actually makes it. It's really good. And we have another spot called something Sticks. They just Sticks and Spoons that make it too. It's supposed to be really good, but every time I drive by there, they're closed. So I haven't eaten it yet. But yeah, man. So the Ride 4, we need to get on there and play for sure because we have a bunch of people that play. Of course, you already know that. Cameron Myers, as you know, you was there. He owes us a haircut live on the podcast because yeah. So when we all get together, we'll make bets like that, right? Stuff like that. Which makes it a lot of fun, man. Yeah, mountain biking. Man, I had a nice mountain bike. Somebody stole it from me, and I just never replaced it because I paid a lot of money for that thing, and it broke my heart. Somebody stole it, unfortunately. It's something I'd like to get back into because to me, that's one of my favorite things to do riding mountain bikes, out there on the trails, because you get to push it. You're on two wheels, and of course I like to do the dumb shit, ride with these, all little kids, past kids. Look, I'd ride a wheelie for a dog if the dog would appreciate it. That's how much I love doing it, right? I'd be like, dude, dog, check this out. So yeah, man. So off season, what's your most favorite things to do on the off season?
Well, really kind of take a little breather, usually for a month or two after the season. And then after that, kind of start building back the base, for next year. So just try to get in a good routine and get a little job, for the off season. Just kind of make sure I'm good financially after all the hurting on my pockets during the season.
Machining them badass parts.
Yeah.
So listen, let's touch on that for a minute. So when you machine your own like upper and lower triple tree, how long does that process usually take? Is that something you can easily do in an hour, or is that like a day process or 2 days?
So usually if we were going to make one-off parts, I'm sure that you could do most of the machining. It'd probably take a full day to do a top and lower triple. But there's so many other little things that go into it, like just the modeling, like designing takes a long time. Can take a day. And then there's we usually don't make anything of just one. We usually try to make enough so we could sell them too. So we could run just bottom triple clamps, like just the first operation out of 2 could take, or actually there's 3 operations, but I think the first one we could take a day, and then another day on the second operation, and then another day on the third operation. And then we still have to make all the cups for the offset adjustment. And then there's the stem and the nut for the triples. So, I'd say really if we're going to make like a enough sets to sell, it could, be like almost a week thing, fitting in between of other jobs, that are going in and out of the shop. So, usually we'll kind of run my stuff after hours, more like second shift. And just kind of seeing, or while we're on this topic, answering, somebody else asked what CNC equipment we have. We have, I believe, four Haas mills, and some of them have a 4th axis. We have 2 Doosan 5700s, I think, that are 5 axis. We have one DMG Mori lathe with the sub spindle, and live tooling with a bar feeder and parts catcher, so that can run full operations at a time and kind of run like pretty automated. And then we have like 4 Haas lathes. So we definitely, my dad, even though it's in our backyard, it's a pretty big shop, and we do a lot of work.
Absolutely. And it takes time to learn how to use all those different pieces of equipment, right? You gotta, it takes a lot of time to learn all that. And we also have another question, Jackson, as you can see up on the screen. Can you talk a bit about how you find sponsorship and funding assistance, and how much time do you actually spend on it?
Yeah, so that actually is another thing that takes a lot of time in the off season. Is you could send out 100 emails and give out 100 calls and looking for just one yes. And that's one thing I've been trying to be big about is trying to find a way to show that racing has a return of investment to a company, because that's the most important part, is to get the level of help that I'm looking for to help fund this, and just how expensive it is to go all across the country racing, and knowing how much the bikes cost and everything else. There's a lot of pieces involved. So usually, I feel like a lot of people in racing help out because they love racing, and it might be a little bit of a tax write-off to some people with a bigger company. And then there's levels all the way down to people helping out with some tires here and there, some family helping out with this and that. But that's definitely, I'd say, the hardest part is, there's a lot of people that can make it out on the grid that can't, just due to financial reasons. And so, I pretty much invested, at the end of the year, I pretty much look back and every dollar I had, goes into racing. And so sometimes it's a tough pill to swallow, but, and you're throwing everything you got at it, when you're there on the race weekend, you can't cheap out on what, that extra rear tire in qualifying and so that's just kind of how it goes. And, but that's kind of the toughest part. Like even right now for me, these last couple rounds are pushing it. So, I got a few people that's just kind of help me get there and help finish out the year that, we've started, being that we're, fourth in the championship right now. And
that's right.
We're still in it, so
that's right.
Just trying to, by the grit on our teeth, just trying to get through the end of the year.
Listen, and you can do it. I have every faith you can still win this Twins Cup for sure, 110%. So out of the next two races coming up, Pitt and Jersey, which one of those two is your favorite tracks out of the two?
I seem to go pretty good at both those tracks. It's actually two tracks that I haven't got to ride the last 2 years because I was hurt last year.
That's right.
So, but I'd say that I like the surface at Pittsburgh definitely better than New Jersey. And I like that there's some elevation mixed in there. So I think that it'll be a lot of fun to get back to Pittsburgh and just keep on developing our bike. And we had a pretty good setup at other tracks with elevation like the Ridge. So I think that, we should have a pretty good baseline.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Oh, speaking on touching back on Star Wars, I know we're going back, dude. Have you watched The Mandalorian? I know you have, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what a great series, and Ahsoka's get ready to come out. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because it come to me. I was like, man, The Mandalorian. Yeah, what a series. Yeah, man, dude. Listen, 2 rounds left. You're not that far. We already said that back in the championship, man. So it's a lot to gain and still a lot to lose, right? Hopefully these next 2 rounds, you already know I'm gonna be cheering for you, me and Jules for sure. I hope it goes smooth and you get those W's, man. Yeah, absolutely, man, to help you out for next year. And you still touching on the sponsorship side, I could see where that would, because I've been trying to figure out ways trying to get a sponsorship for the podcast too, right? So I have no idea even where to begin or how to go about it, so maybe that's something you can help walk through with us on here, right? Like how do you do that? Do you just put a portfolio together and say, hey, I'm looking for this, but in return, this is what I can offer you guys at the same time? And
yeah, pretty much. I've gotten pretty good with just like presentations and just kind of trying to show, what they can gain and, how them helping you can benefit them. And so it's all kind of like a give and take. And if you can show them that that they'll gain something valuable, out of you, and that's kind of the biggest thing. And so I've been just trying to show them that I feel like I'm a pretty marketable, and being like I'm a smaller team, I have more opportunity to kind of give a little more exposure in a way. I'm not as stuck to a certain look my bike has to have, or certain colors, or I can kind of have my paddock display however I want. So I can kind of have it all made to, just benefit exposure to their company, or using some of the social media following and stuff in there. So that's the biggest thing I feel like nowadays is, I don't have that big of a following on social media. But a good bit of engagement and interactions with people in like a specific group of racing and motorcycles and stuff. So especially, other guys with big followings, kind of help use that as like a stepping stone, with companies to kind of get them interested.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, would you ever race the Isle of Man TT?
I don't know if I could.
No.
I don't know if that racing is for me.
Yeah. I asked that question, man, because I love the TT. Would I ever race it? I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, I'm not fast enough to do it, but back in my younger days, I probably give it a go. Why not? Right. I mean, it's just different, right? I love the Isle of Man, and I also like BSB a lot too. Do you watch BSB?
I don't watch it consistently, but I always see like the highlights and stuff on Instagram. And
Yeah, BSB is awesome. They're electronic. They don't have a whole lot of electronics like we do over here in Motoamerica. So it's all dumbed down to where it's all 230 horsepower motorcycles with hardly not a lot of electronics on it, right? Like I think it's like 4 different stages of traction control. Not the multi-billion that they have in superbike class. It's just like me and Ashton was talking about, man. You sit on these super bikes and you're looking at it and you're like, I don't even know what button to hit or where to even begin on this thing, right? And then you're hitting all these buttons for all these different modes and trying to pay attention to the your screen at the same time as trying to rip everybody's heads off and be the fastest guy out there, right? Tires ain't cheap. So on average, how many tires do you go through on the weekend in the Twins Cup?
So we get 10 tire stickers for a weekend, and it's $400 a set.
Yeah, that's
or a little over that. But you can also mix it up, and you can do more rears than fronts, or you just get 10 stickers, and you can use them front or rear. So usually I feel like I spend about $2,000 a weekend on tires at least. Sometimes if I have some good takeoffs, I can get away with running practice on an older set or something. But usually, you're just trying to, always be on new tires so that, your setup is more accurate for race time. If you're like making changes off of used tires, it can just kind of, have a different feel to it. So it's just constantly putting on new shoes, but
that's right.
But it's just kind of part of the game,
It is. So are you more front than rear, or more rears than front, or is that depending from track to track?
It's usually always more rears for me. Like there may be a chance in qualifying that I'll come in and do like a rear change mid session. But the fronts usually last the whole session pretty easily.
Nice. Yeah. And like I said, they're not cheap, man. They're awesome, man. You know what I'd love to see, man, in Motoamerica, man, is tire war. Bring Pirelli and Michelin and Dunlop all up in there and have this big old battle, man. I think it would be awesome, man. And it's just like dude, in Moto 3 and Moto 2, they're getting rid of Dunlops and they're going to Pirellis next year. Right, that's going to change the game. That's going to change your bike setup, your chassis development. I mean, that changes the whole game literally, especially in those smaller classes. So we have a question that says, on average, what does a race weekend cost total between registration, tires, and etc. All that good stuff.
Man, so it kind of depends. Depends on the race and everything, but so. Since I'm a season entry, registration is $3,800 for the year. And that includes a couple of mechanic passes. That has my registration for the year. And so, I'm not paying registration per like race to race. But then, then it's tires, fuel, if you're paying a mechanic, and then you got just your travel and food and somewhere to stay, all that kind of depends on, what setup you have. You can stay at the track and save some money but I'd say that usually an East Coast round, being that I live fairly close to the rounds, I'd say that the round costs me around $4,000 total. To be safe, I mean, probably like at least $3,000 a weekend, like hands down. But usually probably more like 3,500 and up. And then for like a trip out to the West Coast where I drove out there and all that, I'd say those 2 rounds had to cost
double that. Yeah.
double.
Yeah, double for sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you ain't got to say that from here to Seattle, Washington, man. That's like, yeah, that's way, yeah, that's a lot of gas, a lot of food. So typically, do you just camp out at the tracks?
yeah. Usually we try to do our best. Out on the West Coast, I didn't have like usually I use my grandpa's motorhome for some of these closer rounds, but for the West Coast, I ended up just getting a hotel just because I was able to find a pretty good deal on a place close. Get a good shower and stuff, especially after driving straight out west. Just days straight. I think we made it in like 2 days straight because I was last minute leaving. So we didn't stop or nothing. So we definitely needed a nice shower and a good bed to sleep in. That wasn't the back of the truck. But on the East Coast, we usually try to camp out at the track any way possible.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so I drove across the United States 4 times. And first time I went from here to Sacramento, I want to say it took us like 3 days. Of course, we stopped, and then I went to Arizona. It was like 2 days. Yeah, and we pretty much, we stopped like once or twice, but other than that, it was switching drivers. You take a nap, I'll drive. You nap, I'll drive. Right? It's when you spend that long in a car, man, you yearn to get out. When you get out, you don't want to get back in. You're like, I don't want to do this, right? Like, I don't want to get back in the car. So yeah, we have another question here. It says my son is only 4 and just starting riding his PW on the track, so I have some time. But I was just curious. I'm not sure what the question is. I'm not really sure what your question is, but yeah, we would love to see your son be a Motoamerica championship in the future for sure. All kids, right? And listen, it's this thing, man. Big shout out to Michael Carrera and the SFL Mini GP, right? Man, all them guys. Listen, that's where you need to take your son, hook up with Mike down there, and they'll put him on track. You don't need anything. Just show up and bring your kid or your kids, and yeah, they'll teach them and put them on bikes and get you going for sure. Let's see, I was backing up why I asked about the cost. Oh, okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's not cheap, man. Getting into road racing, it is on a little kid, but even then, I'm sure it gets pretty expensive, right? Because you're always buying new bikes and the gear. The gear is what costs too, right? The gear's a big part of it. It's just like you are sponsored by Revit, so you get your suit for free, right? Correct? Right?
Luckily I get a lot of help on. It's usually easier to get a lot of help on like product than like straight financial help. So that's usually the most cost in racing is like on this level is usually just the tires, fuel, travel, registration, like things that you can't beat around.
Right.
You can always work with different companies on some help on some helmets or suits and some help on parts for the bike and this and that. It's a bit easier to get, but the biggest thing is really just the financial stuff. Like you can kind of choose certain companies to work with, and I've been fortunate enough this year to kind of build a relationship over the last few years with some different companies on bike parts and everything, and still be on a very competitive package. And so that's been my main goal, is just trying to build up that help. And that's definitely the hardest part.
Yeah, it is. That was me replying. I'm sorry I can't see your name since Jules actually hosted the video. I can only see some people's name, but sorry if I didn't know your name. Listen, Jackson, man, what an honor to have you on the podcast, man. We've been going out this for like an hour and 30 minutes. It only seems like 20 minutes. You know, I mean, we're going on an hour 30, man. So we're actually gonna cut this here soon because I actually gotta go back to work. I'm actually left work to come here to podcast, and I gotta go back. That's how much my boss supports us, which is awesome. But listen, I would love to get you back on, me and Jules at the end of the season, after Jersey, man. Because I mean, we'll be there anyway. We'll get you back on, talk about, you know, pick it up, how your whole season went, you know, and all that good stuff. And obviously, the 600 Super Sport champion going to be next year. Yeah, we can get all that on the next podcast. But listen, what an honor it is to have you on. Before we get off here, let me do this giveaway real quick while I got people still on here. And we see who wins this signed poster and some stickers. I need to figure out how to put it up on the actual thing. And the winner is Robert Lackey. Bro, congratulations. That is awesome. So listen, let's Jackson, tell everybody where they can find you at, how they can get in touch with you, all that good stuff, social media, the whole nine.
Yeah, pretty much just on Instagram is at @JBlackmon_18, and then Jackson Blackmon or Jackson Blackmon Racing on Facebook. And yeah, I haven't been doing the best about keeping up with posting and stuff lately, but of course you all know that Motoamerica Live Plus, you know, shows all the action throughout the weekend, and I hope we'll be up towards the pointy end this weekend.
Absolutely, you will. Agent Action Jackson, my man, bro. What an honor. And listen, everybody, you guys already know where you can find us at Spotify, iHeart, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, yada, 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 all that good stuff. You know how to find us. So, yeah, tomorrow, once this ends, the video render, but it'll be on Spotify tomorrow so everybody can watch and listen and all that good stuff. But listen, just stay on here for a second. I'm going to end the podcast. And again, as always, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, chiming in, all the comments, even if it's good comments, bad comments, it don't matter. We love it all. And we appreciate all the love and support all you guys give us. It's been overwhelming at times. It really has. And I just want to thank all you guys personally. I really mean it. I do. So anyway, listen, Agent Action Jackson, and on Pin the Gas podcast. This has been an awesome show, and I look forward to doing it again. Until then, we will catch you guys later. We are out of here.